welcome back after that montage of madness.
I don't have anything ready. It's really early in the morning and I decided to start. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. That's the advantage of Seth being a musician, is I can just make the music I want to put in the video. Don't get used to it. So, well, we've got some clear gear, because I was not going to show you guys that process. That's really boring. Nobody wants to watch me do it. So we got Power Man 5000, Silken Panties Plus, Power Girl 5002, Shit Smacker, Bowman.fla. We've got Fuck the Earth, Fanghorn Fucker, Meat Wagon, Ho Novice, and some Enchanted Diamond Armor. So there's that. We got all this food. These are all the drops. I just did some glass. This is not all the stonework, obviously. These are all the redstone components that I've made so far. Our precious minerals, some stone, deep slate, and I have some stuff cooking. I think it's all the fucking... Still finally getting rid of all that damn copper, but... That's what I forgot about dripstone, is dripstones tend to spawn with copper ore. So that's new to me. I found that out the hard way. So I also got the grindstone, pretty much all the main things we're going to need. So what's today's episode going to be about? Well, I'm tired of looking at this, and I want to make something out of it. So let's go ahead and do just that. So let's go ahead and start with our entrance. Oh boy, so this is our entrance area. I want to use some doors. I don't know. Let's start with the floor. Let's get the floor going first. So I want to build with stone brick in a couple of rooms, not all of them, but just a few. So let's see if I can make a pattern out of that. I can! Okay, cool. So that makes me happy. So I'm going to take a few things with me. We'll take the deep slate bricks. I don't really like the deep slate, like, tile. I think it doesn't look as good. Cobbled deep slate does that better for me, in my opinion. Let's take a few of these. A few of these. I don't really like smooth stone, but I'll use it in a few spots, maybe. We'll just take some of this. I don't really like andesite. I'm just keeping that as a building supply for now. And we'll deal with doors later, so I guess we'll do that. I don't need that open. Okay, so I'll start building some shit. This doesn't look as good as I thought, so let's change that up. Let's try that with the smooth stone. Kinda. I'm not really feeling it. I always fall back on this. I always do. I swear to God, it's always going to be granite. I just love the way granite looks in this game. So yeah, I guess I'll start doing a granite path. And, let's see what else we can start doing. Someone's probably like, oh, such basic blocks. Well, trust me, I don't really care for... like I said in the past, terracotta, the concrete blocks, I just don't, not really my thing. I think we'll just do this. For now, this will be the main entrance one. You'll see what I'm doing when I get into it. And then this is our furnace room, if I remember correctly. Yeah. That'll lead into there. And then our portal room, which I should go ahead and grab more granite. Take it for granite. I'm not going to use this pattern for the whole house. This is just for this room. And then I might as well do that for the nether portal area. And I think I'll do deep slate for this. I think deep slate looks better for this because you can obviously, you know, make it look like a damn hellscape. I know that's gonna change, by the way. The portal's gonna be right here. I'll bump it back. So let's see. What can I do? I think I'll do a nice ring pattern here. I'm much better at outside than inside. I mean, if you guys have watched my channel long enough, you know I like The Sims, so I'm quite good at actually designing some things when I put my mind to it. I like this black and white idea. Yeah, that's slightly better. And this is all going to be thick, so it can be around the portal. Now, shit, I gotta be careful because I'm knocking down torches. Oh, I forgot to build, fucking lanterns and shit. That's fine. I'll build those in a little bit. Okay, so let's get some wood on. Let's get your groove on. I love birch. It's one of my favorite wood types in the game. I've wanted to do birch in here specifically, but we'll get to this when this is all done cooking up. Alright, so I think... So there's our portal room, our furnace, and then this is going to be our brewery. I love saying that word. So I think... Let's start with a basic ring of birch, and then we'll start going across into see. I like to usually do ring patterns, because ring patterns are a lot more... Well, it's less, like, boring looking in my mind, so I think ring patterns look better. Hope you guys are enjoying me building shit. I finally am building shit. You can tell your friends, tell your family, tell your wife, tell your kids. I'm building shit. Okay. So what would look good with this? Let's try this diorite. Does this look good with this, or is this too light? You know, it kind of works because they're both light colors on gray. But, well, I think it's fine. We'll do the inside with diorite for now. If I always want to change it, I can change it later. So, yeah, I'm just gonna try and get woken up here because I just got up a while ago and I'm instantly playing the Minecraft after I did all my morning routine. So, I've wanted to play this just to get this done with, I think, at this point. So, because this house has been sitting here doing nothing. So yeah, by the way, the mine is over that way, and then the mountain over there is what I've been getting my stone from. Do I want to put another inside layer in this? I don't think it needs one. I think it's fine as is. I can always expand these too, so. Alright, for the deep slate, I think needs... Let's do a checkerboard pattern with deep slate and stone brick. I think that sounds pretty cool for this. Because it's a forge room. It's our Geordie La Forge. So we want it to be a little bit more lively, because this is going to be a row of fucking furnaces, and that's really boring. Speaking of Geordie, I've been watching Star Trek lately, and, well, I'm watching Voyager because I hate my life. I finished the first season, and I completely forgot that the Season 1 ending is what it is. I was like, that was it? The fuck? That was a very underwhelming season finale, man. Granted, it's been like 20 years since I've watched the show, and I don't remember that being... I mean, how do you hype that up for the season finale? I'm just gonna say it. For those of you not interested, I'm gonna just say it, because it's not that interesting, and you're not missing anything. So basically, Tuvok, the fucking Spock replacement Vulcan man... Sorry, Mr. Vulcan. He, he basically trains a bunch of Maquis guys. There's like the fat blue guy, Bitch Pants McBitch, and... Well, not her, actually. I'm sorry. The very whiny man guy that's on there. Then there's the generic woman character, and then other guy that is just kind of quiet guy. Like, it's just... The episode's them going through basic boot camp and fucking up. It's really... I was a little bit depressed that that was the season finale. I was like, that was it? I remember this being fucking way cooler. I guess I was wrong. I thought the season finale was something fucking epic. I know the Borg don't show up at least until, like... What, season 3? That's when they get rid of Kess. Oops. Spoiler alert. But, no, I thought that, like... I thought it was some, like, actual, like, character development sort of thing that happens. Like, you know, fucking something big. I should get the axe for this, actually. No, it's just fucking Tuvok sends a bunch of dudes out, and he's like, you guys need to get your shit together. You're going to learn to be on this spaceship and cooperate with each other. And then one of them's like, you're not my dad, fuck you. And then he's like, fuck you, and fucking cheese is killing our spaceship, asshole. And then like, fucking... I know Voyager's not a great series by any metric, okay? I'm not that dumb. I'm very well aware that Voyager is not the best Star Trek ever. But in my opinion, it's my favorite. So I have a little bit of bias here, but... I mean, I like the characters, don't get me wrong. This is the thing, is I thought the ending of the first season was just kind of lame. I watched the first episode of the second season, I was like, why the fuck didn't they end it here? Like, this would have been a much better season finale, other than fucking, like, bullshit cheese. You think I'm kidding, don't you? If you haven't seen the episode, you're probably like, what are you talking about, bullshit cheese? Okay, so their fucking cook tries to, like, culture cheese, and then it creates mold, and then the biogel in their ship gets, like, a fever. And that's how they, actually, that's how they fix it. It gets a bacterial infection. And, they basically have to, like, give the ship a fucking fever, and it's actually a very creative episode, I thought, but I was like, oh my god, this is it? Like, I might replace this. This looks gaudy. The more I look at it, the more I don't like it. I'll probably replace it with something else. We'll see. I'll just keep it down there for now, so... Yeah, like, Neelix tries to, like, synthesize cheese, and then the cheese gets the biogel. Since the biogel is a living organism, it makes... It, like... It's not a great episode. I'm just gonna say it. It's not a very great episode, but the creativity is top-notch. Like, I thought that was pretty clever. Like, how they have to figure out how to, like... You know... Get rid of the fucking... like, infection, or sorry, infect the ship's infection, basically, and kill it. That's cool. I thought that was actually pretty clever. But the process behind it was very goofy. I was like... Actually, I do like the scene where they're all getting fucking melted, basically, in the ship. That was pretty gross. I mean, I'm gonna be real here, that would be so awful. Like... Imagine you're, like, in a hot box of... fucking germs and other people, and then all of a sudden it just gets like nuclear hot. That's pretty gross. I like that. That was actually pretty neato. But the overall episode was just kinda... I don't think that should have been a season finale. I'm just gonna say it. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all. But for a season finale, nah, man, that was just like an everyday episode. So, for context, Season 2 starts off with they find fucking Amelia Earhart, okay? They find a other bunch of people, the 37s is what they were called, right? And, yeah, that was cool. Like, but you could clearly tell they had no budget, because they're like, let us show you our beautiful cities. And then they're like, yes, let us see your beautiful cities. And then they go in their beautiful cities, and they just kind of cut back to the ship with Janeway, and she's just like sitting down, and she's like, oh, those were some beautiful cities they made. We overthrew the aliens. You didn't get to see them because the aliens were bad and they died a long time ago. Ah, so you're humans. Yes, we killed the other ones because they never came back. They didn't want to be a part of this bullshit, so... The execs didn't give him budget, I guess. I don't know. You could tell it was a very slapdashed episode. I don't think it was bad because of that. Like, I thought it was actually really cool. I like how a bunch of fucking yahoos they don't know disarmed them in like 2 seconds, though. That was a bit weird. I was like, so they're letting this fucking alcoholic boomer take their fucking space guns. And they didn't even put up a fight. They're just like, hey, yo, don't do that. No, they just flat out took it away from him. Like, okay, give me that. And then the old country buffeted their ass. I was like, okay. They just basically took their weapons away. That was kind of lame. Not even like I am of the fucking Federation, you won't fucking touch that goddamn thing. Get that goddamn thing off of there! And then they No, they didn't even do that. Like, they just casually let this man with a loaded firearm that they didn't even know was loaded or not, just basically take it away from him. I was like, the fuck, dude? I would have, like, fucking karate chopped their ass. I would have been like, no, you give me that fucking thing back, that's mine, and then just beat his ass. But they didn't. They didn't take it. They let this complete stranger hold them hostage. They had them in numbers. And they still didn't take it away from him. I was like, Janeway is gonna get fucking killed. I know she doesn't die by the end of the I don't remember if she does die, but I'm like, you know what, if she doesn't die, I'd be shocked, because holy fuck. I don't remember her dying. I haven't seen the episode season. Don't fucking spoil it for me. Please. I don't care, honestly, but I know they get home. I'm not that dumb. I'm pretty sure they get home. It's been many a moon since I've watched this show, but I remember how it kind of vaguely ends. I know that I was butthurt about the fact that the Doctor's with not 7 of 9. That was really lame. I love 7. She's the best character in the show. Actually, it's the Doctor, but whatever. We'll just pretend it's 7. Everyone likes 7 of 9. She's in like her own league. It doesn't count. She's not in the first 3 seasons. Or sorry, the first 2 seasons, because I don't think they can encounter the Borg until like the 3rd season. I like the Borg. They're badass. They just don't fuck around. They just fucking mess people up. I like First Contact. What of it? It's a great movie. Fucking Data gets his dick wet. It's great. Fully functioning. How long has it been, Data? 8 years? 20? I love that scene. I know he's not a sex-craved robo-maniac, but like, I don't know, man. I just love that he's remembered his last sexual encounters. That's really funny. He's really counting his goes, man. But nah, the season 2 starter is they find these like these people that are in like cryostasis, and they're all people from like very specifically the 37s is what they're called. You know, if you think I'm spoiling the episode, I'm not. It's not a very... Star Trek's a very serialized TV show, I hate to tell you, but... You know, it's one of those things where it's like... You're not gonna, like, ruin much, as long as you don't spoil, like, major things that happen, I suppose. So... But the other thing to me is like... No, I forgot I have instant mind. Shit. I don't want this. I wanted to see something. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll leave that there and declare a thumb war. We'll make a nice little... Yeah, we'll make these with, corners with, like, stair decoration. You'll see. No, it's a very serialized show. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that's just like, alright, this is this kind of episode, isn't it? And, I love how I was rewatching the first season, and I was like, or you know what I mean, watching it again for the first time in like 20 years, and I was like, alright, how many episodes is it gonna take before we get into space and then time travel? And it took fucking less than 2 episodes. It's the second episode involves time travel. I was like, well, that was quick. And then the next one after that involves time travel in a way. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of tropes in Star Trek. I'm aware of it, but goddamn, I completely forgot how kind of half-assed Voyager is in some regards. Not in a bad way. It's lovably half-assed. I know. I kind of like how slapdash the whole thing really gets. But, you know, it's a very serialized show. I can't say much for the newer ones. I haven't watched, I think the last Star Trek I watched was Enterprise, and I did not like that. Number one, I couldn't stand the Vulcan chick. She looked angry all the time. Something about her face just really bothers me. I'm sure she's the coolest character ever, but something about her face just really... Like, it's like Olivia Benson in fucking Law & Order. She's just got this ugly face that just looks like she's permanently confused and angry, and I can't stand to look at it. Like, I'm sure she's a wonderful actress and a wonderful person, but holy fuck. Something about the way that that character looks just really... I know she's a Vulcan, but like, oh fucking hell, it doesn't look right. But no, I definitely, first season, having watched it recently, you know, I liked it. I still think it doesn't really sell the gimmick of the show very well. It's certainly got like a couple of standout episodes. This is if you've watched it, I suppose. Jetrel was a great episode. I was like, wow, this is like Mass Effect level of okay writing. Like, that's like the best I've mentioned it in this fucking series, I'm pretty sure, too. I've mentioned it like on one series, I'm pretty sure. It's the one where fucking her name was Palaxia. And I love that scene. It's fucking great. I love how I'm not gonna spoil the twist, but you can kind of probably see it a mile away. But no, I like that episode. It's really good. It's kind of a touchy-feely episode. Kind of got some like world building. Kind of got some. Yeah, I think it's good. I think that's probably the best episode in the whole first season. Everything else is kind of just like, all right, we're gonna go do the thing, and the space anomaly is gonna happen. I was like, yeah, this is kind of what I expected, really. Not bad, but not great. I don't know. I don't think I have a least favorite. Probably the jumpy space alien one was kind of dumb, I thought. I was like, well, the twist at the end's cool. I'll give it that. Like, it's a pretty good, clever, well-made twist. Or at least trying to be a twist. But the overall, like, premise is literally a waste of time. I was like, this is definitely a waste of time episode we could have done without having, and I think the show would have been fine without it. I'll give you a rundown. So, Chakotay Man, he gets knocked the fuck out off camera, and they're like, hey, yo, what are we gonna do about that? And then they're like, he's in a coma, we don't know what to fucking do. And, that sucks. That's the episode. Then people start getting infected with a thing that we never see. We only hear about. I think they do show it, actually. Isn't it just a fucking blob? Like, no, it's not a blob. It's a fucking, like, ball of particles or something. Like, it's very underwhelming. And I can tell they didn't have a good budget for that episode. Because it really shows. But yeah, that was kind of a go-nowhere episode, I thought. I was just like, this could have been without. It's supposed to be like, oh, well, of course, at the very end it chose Chakotay. Cool. I was like, yeah, I don't like Chakotay. I know you're probably like, oh, but you have native ancestry. You should love Chakotay. He's very boring. He's very, I don't want to say stereotyped, because I don't think that he's stereotypical of, like, a, quote, native character in a show, but he's very, my people, my ancestors, and I think that's the only character he has at times. He's very stoic and boring. I don't think he's the worst character in the show. That could change, my opinion could change, because I have only watched the first season. I've watched the whole show at least twice, but it's been ages since I've watched it. I'm talking, like, when it came out, man. That's how, like, the last time I watched the show, like, as it was, like, on TV as a rerun. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's just kind of boring. I really like, Tuvok. Tuvok's the best. I like Tuvok better than Spock. I know that's probably fucking controversial, but it's true. I think Tuvok's just a cooler character. Like, he's a good foil to Neelix, and Neelix is a good foil to him. I think their dynamic works really well. Like, I think that's people go, oh, fucking Neelix ruined the show, and I'm like, he's an annoying character done well. I think that's something I can actually say. Like, You can say, oh, well, he's like Jar Jar Binks or something. It's like, no, Jar Jar Binks had no character development and was a very horrible, shitty character design for children. Neelix is a deep character underneath all this fucking stupid shit, but he's actually a well-intentioned person. I think that's what makes him a fun character. He's not perfect. I don't think he's a perfect character, but he's how I would say if you want to write a character that's goofy, I guess, or tonally light. He's probably a good example of how to do that correctly without coming across as, like, just modern funny, where it's just, oh, he's sarcastic all the time. No, he's kind of... Well, they don't have a counselor because they were like, we didn't fucking need one because Counselor Troy didn't do anything except have her tits out the whole show. And that's it. That's all Troy ever did in TNG. She had no character development. Her mom was annoying and she was an annoying character. She didn't do anything. She flat out just stood there and said for the audience that couldn't catch on, I think they're lying. They might be deceiving us. That was her entire character. That's why I'm like, no, she was never a good character. The only time I've actually liked her as a character is that fucking bit where the... I can't remember what he is. He's like fucking... like one of the top tier, like, Starfleet people, whatever. He's a bad guy, spoiler alert. He's not a good person because he's not on the main cast. He basically comes in and just starts telling her to fucking wear a shirt. Or not a shirt, but wear her uniform. He's like... Mrs. Troy, there's a fucking uniform standard on this ship. I would expect you to actually do it. Thanks. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, and then just mortified. That's her, like whole thing. And she's, like, mortified that someone told her to put on an actual uniform. It's like, I get it, she's a counselor, it's fine. She's not exactly the same level of someone, like, on fucking, like, engineering, but, like... Yeah, why the fuck do they allow her to basically just wander around without a uniform, like, as basically a plainclothes civilian on the ship? Even fucking Doctor Lady, Mrs. Crusher, she had a fucking lab coat on at least that kind of made you go, oh, she's doctory. I don't know why they didn't give her a jumpsuit either, but I don't give a shit. I don't know, maybe that's just me having OCD, but like, fuck, dude. Someone had to tell her to wear a fucking uniform. She just wandered around the fucking show wearing whatever the hell she wants. I like that. They're like, put a fucking uniform on. I know the story behind her actress saying they wanted Troy to have like 4 tits, and I've heard the number change from 4 to 3 to 3 to 4. Let's just say they wanted her to have numerous tits, okay? Can we all just agree on that, alright? They wanted her to have more than 2, and she wore a skimpy outfit. That was her character. And they didn't treat her very like well in the show. She didn't have any things she did. But you know, in the defense of her character, okay, would you expect a counselor to go out there and fucking shoot people and like talk to aliens and fucking diplomatic sessions and shit? No, they're a fucking counselor. And the moment that like you told an alien species, oh, this is our counselor, she's a mental health advisor, you know what the first thing I'd think if I didn't know what the fuck a counselor was as an alien species, that they said, oh, they determine if you're lying in your emotions and shit, I'd be like, why don't you trust us? Get that person out of here. Get that goddamn thing off of there. Like, I would totally be so skeptical at that point. I wouldn't want anybody... I wouldn't want to talk to those people. Like, she should have just been, like, her own character that worked with Troy. She should have been an actual medical qualified character. I'm sure she was, because it's Star Trek. Everyone has, like, 800 degrees, but... She didn't do anything. I'm just gonna spoil it for you, dude. She didn't do anything in the show. She was a... like eye candy character. You could say, oh, well, they did that with 7. It's like, yeah, they changed it over time, obviously, because it's just, I don't have a problem with titillating characters. It's kind of just like fine if you do it correctly, but if you don't, it makes you look really stupid. Like, not stupid, I guess, but it makes you look really trite, I guess. I don't know. Like, Seven is actually a cool character, but I think that her outfit should have been more Borgified, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like Star Trek, so I don't have any opinion on this. What was I saying? Oh. Yeah, but Troy was useless. Troy didn't do anything. She shouldn't, her and fucking, I think Tom Paris shouldn't have even had a fucking, I mean, I know the whole point is he's, like, stuck on the ship. That's the whole point of Voyager, but, dude, Tom Paris has no fucking business being on, like, a, like, Starfleet vessel. That fucking guy is, like, trouble. He's like if you took the sexual predator that is like Kirk and Riker put together and then amplified it and made it worse. Like somehow made that worse. I don't mean like, oh, I'm just lying here. He's not really a predator. Oh, yes, he fucking is. Like the first like thing he does is he's like, oh, you know, these, like, twins, fucking twins, Harry, think about it, the twins, you don't get these options very much. It's like, dude, what the fuck, you're going in on people within 10 minutes of being on this fucking ship. The fuck is your problem? No, he also tries it with that one chick, too. She's the very obvious bad guy. And he's like, I've never met one of you before. And he's, like, touching her and shit. I'm like, I'm not like a progressive ultra psychopath, you know. I'm very level as a human being. But I'm like, dude, you just fucking like groped on a woman that you don't know for like 10 seconds into like being on this ship. I would not want to work with that asshole. I'd be like, fuck that guy. No, I don't want to be a part of this. No, Captain, fucking, he was all handsy with me. We hadn't even fucking left anywhere yet. Get him out of there. Actually, no, that wasn't on the ship. That was on, like, that was on Earth, wasn't it? I can't remember. It's been a few months since I've watched that episode. But, nah, man, dude, Tom Paris had no fucking business being on Starfleet. The guy was a fucking train wreck. Well, he was something. He was gonna do a train on something. But, no, it's not like, oh, that didn't age well. It's just like, no, that doesn't age at all. That guy's a fucking perv. Harry Kim has kind of some business being on the vessel, I guess, but everyone else is just kind of like... I know they wanted to axe his character off because they thought he didn't do anything or whatever, but... Yeah, Harry doesn't do a whole lot. Poor Harry. He also gets a space STD in one episode, if I remember correctly. And then he gets, like, reprimanded pretty hard for it. I haven't watched that episode recently, I just remember this. I've watched something else in the background that discussed it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing, right, I remember that. Because he like, glows. He has glowing STDs. It's great. No, I just was like, man, none of these people... I guess that's kind of why I like Voyager, though, is the characters really have no business being on this fucking ship at all. They're all just... They really shouldn't be on there, man. None of them are what I'd call... Well, actually, the only people that are qualified is, like, what? Janeway, fucking Tuvok, maybe Torres. But, what? Within week 1, she fucking breaks a dude's nose because he doesn't agree with her. And yeah, you can be like, well, the guy was being a total cunt to her. And that's fair. He was being a racist, sexist cunt. That's fair. I'd punch him, too, if I was in that situation. And, you know, it'd be funny. I'd be like, guess what? We're not fucking anywhere near Earth, jackass. And then you have fun court-martialing me if we survive this shit in 70 years. Like, you gonna remember that after week 1? Good. I hope you do. Like, no, I just don't... I don't know. I think that, like, the episode Faces where she gets the Klingon sucked out of her was really kind of shitty, though. I was like, this is an entirely strange episode because those of you who don't know anything about the Star Treks, that's fair. I don't really know that much either. I'm just dumbly aware of things, right? The Klingon are basically, like, space barbarians that are really boring and stupid and suck. I'm gonna ruin your fucking fantasy. I don't like the Klingons! Never liked them, man. They're fucking lame. What do they do? What do they do? Just tell me that. Answer that simple question for me, please. What do the Klingons do? they fuck things up. They fuck things up by, like, being violent space assholes. They don't do anything useful. They're like what a 13-year-old thinks cool is after they read, like, a barbarian comic. It's just like, they're not the worst thing ever, but they're pretty damn stupid, if you ask me. I've always kind of hated them as a like rule of thumb. Like, everyone's like, oh, but Worf. I'm like, Worf got his fucking ass kicked every 5 minutes in Voyager. In Enter whatever it is, Next Gen. Worf got bodied by Troy. She fucking threw him into a goddamn table. And he was like, oh, ugh! Like, cause she, like, fucking handed him over there, like, with her fucking wrist, okay? Like, that... Let me just say that. If you're getting your ass kicked by cleavage dress character exposition, okay, and you're this big macho meathead space alien, well, what the fuck? How does that make you seem tough when you're getting bodied by the fucking counselor? Alright? Data, I could understand. He was a fucking synthetic human being, or whatever. Like, and he had, like, super strength because he actually had, like, augments and shit. That's fine. But it still looks really embarrassing. I'm just gonna say it. Right? You're this big burly, well, I'm Captain Worf. And then, like, he's not a captain. Well, I think he is in DS9, right? But, like, it's embarrassing. It really is. Like, what does Worf do? Okay, he screams, he goes, "Ah!" like, as he's getting zapped, and his culture sucks, and his culture doesn't respect him, because they're like, you've gone soft, you fucking pussy, and then, like, he's like, I am not a pussy. Like, it's... I don't get it. Alexander's not his son, he's, his, like, half-brother or whatever. I don't fucking remember. I don't know, he does have a brother. I know there's an episode, and he basically is played by this, like, Rastafarian dude, and it's really awkward. I don't know if that was intentionally parody or they were just trying to... his accent makes him sound like he's just being, like, dodgy. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Klingons are boring and they suck. That's all you gotta know. They're boring and they suck. Now, you wanna talk about badass... fucking space aliens, it's the fucking Vidians or whatever they're called, the fucking organ harvesting zombie people. That's badass. Whoever, why am I doing this? Why did... Fuck, I didn't think about this. Alright, we're doing a strip of Deep Slate then. But yeah, like, those guys are cool. They wanted to fuck Torres hard. Well, her Klingon bits, literally. Those guys are cool. I don't know why Janeway didn't remember the last time they ran into their species. She was like, if I ever fucking see you on my space again, I'll do something to you. And then they're like, okay, we won't. And then she should have been like, I fucking encountered you assholes back in, like, wherever. You sucked our chef's fucking lungs out, bastards. And then, like, she should have, like, fucking killed them on the spot. She already broke the Prime Directive. What the fuck? They're just these gross space zombie people. Who's gonna care if you kill them, right? That's exactly why I'm not qualified for space travel, right? You know, they're just space zombies. Fuck them. They're ugly. They look bad. And then we'll just kill them instantly. It's fair. It's only fair. They're like, oh, we had like a disease, but we had this advanced medical shit, but we can't figure it out. Well, if you have all this advanced medical shit, maybe you should, like, just try to, like, not suck people's body parts out. Kind of a, you know, shitty thing to do. Just gonna say it. They're like, well, it's necessary for survival. Then stop making babies. Seriously, just... How do you people reproduce? Stop making kids. You fucking... You're really scrubbing it up, man. Like... Why? If you know you people are super fucked up, like, cannot have, like, proper body parts and shit, why do you keep making children? Just gonna say it. Someone's got to say it. I'm gonna be that guy. This is exactly why I wouldn't last in Star Trek's universe, because I'm too anxious and too nervous. I'm like, these people are fucking clearly, like, degenerative criminals. Fucking kill all of them on sight. Like, then again, I'd also use that this is exactly why I'm like, no, I should never go into space. Because I'd be like, we're fucking 8 billion zillion miles away from Earth. There's no one to court-martial me out here. Fuck these gross space weirdos. And then I'd kill them, like, in seconds. They'd be like, but our people are dying. And I'd say, should have thought of that before you had kids. Set phasers to fuck you mode. And then just absolutely obliterate them. And that's why I am not qualified to space travel in real life if we ever do. People always go, oh, wouldn't you like to go into space? And I'm like, no, not really, because this is exactly how I'd feel. I'd be like, well, we're not on Earth anymore. I'm going to tell these jackass weird space cultures how they're ass backwards and wrong, and then repeat American mistakes, right? No, in all reality, I'd probably just leave other species alone. I don't think I would want to bother with an alien species. They wouldn't be like humans anyway, so what's the point? You can't, like, reason with them. Just best not to bother with aliens, in my mind. But, yeah, I was like, okay, so why didn't Janeway just fucking obliterate them on sight? She's like, no, we'll be fine. We'll let them go after they just keep fucking things up. Well, actually, to be fair, she didn't go down to their little murder colony thing. She should have. I would have. I would have been like, well, we've encountered these people before. What should we do? And then the moment somebody asked me what should we do, I'd just say fucking kill them. That's exactly what I'd do. I would just go down there, fucking... I wouldn't even put myself in a disguise, because you know what? They're gonna suss it out anyways. I would have just went down there and fucking guns blazing, just mowed them all down and took all their shit. And then been like, this is the Delta Quadrant, motherfucker. And then just... This is why I said I should never, ever, ever, ever be allowed to leave this planet. Because I have very dodgy ideas about what we should do with hostile species. And that's why this is why it's called a fantasy world and not real. In that situation, though, they totally fucking should have gotten obliterated. I'm just gonna say it. They should have fucking been like, yeah, fuck these people. We've dealt with them before. They're just tools. It's like the not fucking Klingons that have bird nests in their hair. Yeah, those things are awful. I can't even... I watched an episode that dealt with those. It was, Initiation, I think, was the episode I just watched last night. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have killed that kid, too. But at the same point, I would have fucking mowed down the other guys. I'm glad the kid does it. I'm like, yeah, that kid's badass. I want to be like him. But I liked the dynamic with him and Chakotay. That was cool. I had a feeling he was going to say, my people, my ambiguous people. That's the thing, is do they ever even describe what tribe Chakotay is supposed to be from? Because he just says my people, and I'm just going to say it. If you're going to have a native character, it's better to just stop saying native, or sorry, they call him Indian. Which, by the way, does not bother me in the slightest. At all. Like, in reality. But anyways, he just says, oh, you never had an Indian on your ship. It's like, no, but it would be cooler if you said what your tribe was so the audience could have a little bit of a history on the tribe you're a part of, but I think that would require more effort than Voyager's willing to give. So I can kind of understand it, but I'm just like... They could even be vague and ambiguous. They could just say Anasazi. Like, that encompasses so many fucking, like, tribes. Because it's such a vague, like, nondescript, like, expression. Because Anasazi is not an actual, like, singular tribe. It's a sect of other... If I remember correctly, it's a name given by another tribe, and I can't remember which one. I'm so sorry, I can't remember. But it means, like, outsider enemy or something like that. Enemy outsider or something like that. And it's just what they called them, like, as the tribe started to pop up in that area. So it's like, you know, you could just be like, okay, I'm Lakota. Like, let's just say he's Lakota, right? Let's just say Chakotay is Lakota. That's easy to remember, right? Sounds like a hot banging advertisement. Chakotay Lakota, get yourself some today. Like, you don't even have to fucking describe like the tribe from where, whatever. You could just say he's Lakota. Okay, that's perfect. Like, you don't even have to try. Okay, don't even try to be like, oh, he's from the whatever. No, just say he's Lakota. It's just much easier. Let's not try and make this show smart. But yeah, I'm like watching it and I'm like, I don't know what fucking tribe he's supposed to be from, because he just says my ancestors. He never says whatever. He's like, he should have had him say something like, there's a saying in the blank nation, right? That would have been fine. Like, if he just said that, it would be better than just saying, oh yeah, I'm an Indian. It's like, okay. What tribe of Indian do you come from? Oh, you know, just Indians. Okay. Well, that's nice. What kind of, what is the name of your deity? Oh, you know, Great Maker. Yeah, just the Indian god. Yeah, you know, don't worry about it. You actually native? Oh, well, maybe. But, you know, my people. Yeah, sure. I can tell you more about the fucking Cherokee and Choctaw tribes, and I'm not that intelligent. That's pretty depressing. Let's see. For the Choctaw, they're actually pronounced Chata, which is how you would say it is Sia Chata, which means I am Choctaw in Choctaw. You also... The history of the Choctaw. Okay, they came from the ground to the mounds, and the mounds were the thing, and then they colonized around the Great Maker created them. It's a really cool story. You should look it up. I referenced it in my SH2 video series, which you should totally watch because it's really good. And, but, like, yeah, my point is like, I know more about my culture loosely than they explain the Chakotay to us. He just vaguely says native things. It's like, if you're gonna try and be educational and quote-unquote diverse, you should at least actually, you know, apply that culture. I don't know if the actor was of, like, those descents. I'm not one of those fucking weirdos, like the fucking Avatar thing where they like fired this one guy because he wasn't like full-blown Inuit or something. It's like, okay, dude, this is getting weird, you know what I mean? Like, for me, it doesn't make any sense why we focus so hard on shit like that. It's just creepy and strange. It's like, I get when people are like, well, it makes it devalued if you're less... Like, it's like, there's another actor who gets, like, typecasted because he looks Asian, so they have him play, like, characters that are, like, Japanese, even though he's Korean or something. And it's like, you know, I get why you'd be upset, but let's just put it this way. How many people in America are, like, very specifically, like, of the thing? It's like saying I'm German when I'm not actually German. I'm of German heritage. I'm not full-blown German. I have less in common with someone from Germany than, like, whatever. Someone in Germany right now could wipe the floor with me on their cultural background, right? Like, I'm more... Like, the same thing. It's like, yeah, I have, like, Scandinavian heritage, but I'm not Scandinavian. I'm not from Scandinavia. I'm a fucking American citizen. It doesn't really, you know, doesn't really make the sense to me. I'm just gonna take a drink in. Hang on a second. I don't know. Shit's weird. Forced diversity is strange and just awful. You should not do that. It's just creepy. I don't know. But then again, I also think if you're gonna make something with quote-unquote diversity, I like to point out you can't just add human beings to places that they don't exist in. That's another one I don't like. It's like, I don't know, man. You know, in Oregon, we have, like, a pretty large population of Hispanic people and a fairly low population of, like, African Americans, right? So it's like trying to, like, inject, like, people into, like, a place where they don't exist. That's just kind of weird. Like, people are like, oh, well, that means you're uncultured. You didn't live in Detroit. It's like, yeah, man, we're all American citizens. It's not like fucking someone that looks different. It's a different entire human being. That's fucking weird. Only psychopaths think that way. But My point is why did they make... This whole point of this debate here is... Why didn't they just say what fucking tribe he's from? It really bothers me. Because it's like... Look, man, if you're gonna have a native character, at least have the decency to put some, like, effort in and explain, like, what tribe they're from. I mean... Call me that guy, but it really just ticks the wrong boxes for me when people do that. It's like, okay, I'd like to know more about the Lakota Indians. That would be cool, but they kind of squander that. Like, they don't really have it, happen, and it really kind of bothered me. Now I'm the weirdo. I'm that weird psychopath that's like, oh, they didn't give it enough, they didn't make it diverse. Okay, so with Star Trek, it's not a big deal. I can tell you this right off, because you know why? Because Gene Roddenberry, God bless him for being at least trying. At least he was like, yeah, in the future people will just get along. I can commend his very misguided, like, weird idea that we would all somehow get along in the future. But maybe he was right. I don't know, man. Maybe we will all get along one day. I highly doubt it. But, god damn it, why didn't they say what tribe he was from? It's stupid. It just seems... It seems more token at that than it does to not say it. Because, like... Okay... So I can see someone saying, well, it's like Whoopi Goldberg. She saw that one gal and she was like, I was represented. It's like, cool. That kind of makes sense. Like, that's, I can see that. But okay, if you were like a Native American, I can see someone going, oh, like, I like that. That's like me. Yeah, totally. Like, that's cool. But at the same time, when you're not, like, specified, it feels really homogenous and weird. I think that's what I'm trying to get at here. It just doesn't seem... I don't think it's disingenuous. It just comes off as strange. Like I don't know. I would much rather, you know, it's like when people say, "Oh, we got to make like this character like Hispanic." It's like, well, how about a part of Mexico, not just we threw a brown person into the show and now it's diverse. Like that's exactly why tokenism doesn't work. If you're going to make a character that's solely in a show based on a specific ethnicity or gender, like, at least fucking put the effort in and go a little bit deeper. But then again, if you're already going to tokenism, you've failed. You have failed creatively. Like, if you allow it to happen. I'm just gonna say, you write what you know, right? That's like, my first 2 novels I wrote as a kid, I never specified if anyone was black, white, whatever. There was characters that were male and female. There was characters that were gay and straight. Those are just the things I knew. So it's like, okay... That's just the characters that exist in this area. Like, it's just... Fucking tokenism's weird. This is how angry Chakotay makes me as a character. He makes me wish they did more with him. But they don't. Maybe they do in the future episodes and I'm just bitching at nothing, but... What the fuck is Chakotay's tribe? You can answer me and I don't really... I'll probably forget about it. But you know what? It's like... Yeah, it just seems kind of like homogenous. That he just does native things, like, oh, he has a medicine bag, okay. Oh, he talks about like random loose shamanistic beliefs. It's like, okay, he has a spirit animal. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. It comes off as more homogenous than it just comes off as weird. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I think it doesn't help. Like, his character at all. Like, it's just weird. It doesn't bother me enough to make myself angry about it, but it's just confusing enough to where I'm like, why can't they just, like, say what tribe he's from? It's just... It's like saying, oh yes, I'm Asian. It's like, okay. What part of Asia? Oh, you know, just Asia. It's like, that just seems so strange to me. Like, I don't know, what nationality is Harry Kim? He doesn't say. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be Korean because, you know, I'm pretty sure what is it? Something Wong is actually South Korean, I'm pretty sure. But like, it would piss me off to the nth degree, and I'm glad they didn't do it. But it's in the episode The 37s. I'm glad they didn't have Harry walk up to the Japanese soldier and say, "Ni hao" or something. And that's not how you say hello in Japanese. They didn't have him say something like, "Oh, look, someone that looks like me." It would be really, really awkward and really glad. I'm glad they didn't do it. They kind of have him, the Japanese guy, say something like, "There are many Japanese people here. I feel at home." That was kind of weird. But it wasn't the worst thing ever. But I was still like, I'm just happy they didn't have Harry go up to him and say something really awkward like that, because I think that would have been a little... that would have been a little much, I think, at that point. I think if they did that, I would officially say, well, that's so much for subtlety at that point. It was a very dodgy, like, thing I'm glad they dodged. So, I don't know, I don't think Harry should be qualified for Starfleet, though. He's kind of a fuck-up. He's kind of an endearing fuck-up. He's like... You know, I think I can tell what they were going for when they made Harry as a character. They were trying to go for a character that was like Barkley, who was just an everyman, who wasn't particularly great at anything, but they didn't make him a raging sex addict and weirdo. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do that with him. So, call me crazy, but I'm kind of one of those people that's like, Barkley's funny for 3 seconds, and then you realize there's way too many people like him, and not in the good way. It's more like the, oh god, that kind of like, not socially awkward in a funny way, the socially awkward in a creepy, disingenuously strange way. I don't know. Harry's the only character I just, I have no opinion of. I'm like, Harry's so bland that he makes the other characters look exciting. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's also probably not good. Like, Harry's cool in his own kind of weird Harry way. I just love that his name is Harry Kim. It's just very funny sounding. It sounds like you could say a Harry Kim, and like, it sounds like a type of like food. Oh look, it's a Harry Kim. Like, it just sounds funny. Like, his name is inherently funny. I don't know if that's mean, but it's just funny. Harry's a fine name. It's a fine name, but like, Harry Kim. Harry Kim. It just sounds like exactly what he is. He's a Harry Kim, and it just sounds really funny. I don't know. He's not the... He's a colossal fuck-up, but he's lovably fuck-up-ish. Like, I like how he's just, like... He's weird in that way that you kind of go, ew, but also in the way that you go, yeah, he's ew, but he's not like, I'm gonna follow you around ew, until he says something like, I find comfort with something over my eyes. It makes me think of being in the comfort of my mother's womb. That's a fucking red flag statement right there. A person that says, I like sleeping with things over my eye because it makes me think of my mother's womb. That is kind of weird. I'm just gonna say, if you say that, you're weird. If you don't tell me why you like to sleep with the thing over your eye, that's fine. You don't have to tell me. I don't want to know what you do with your sleeping. That's your business, man. But please, for the love of God, do not tell me it's because it makes you think of being in your mother's womb. That is very strange.